lot of people who really don't believe people when they say they're bisexual. So I try and avoid the bisexual label because it just brings so much grief down on you. People think you're faking, you're wishy-washy, or people think you're a sex addict or something who doesn't want to make up their mind. I want to be a political fighter, and I want to be in there fighting, so I call myself gay. And certainly, I'm like delighted to be in the gay club. People all the time talk about, you know, when I came out. Well, I don't feel like I came out. I feel like I fell in love with someone and that person was a woman, and I don't want to minimize that in any way. What I'm attracted to about Christine is her butchness and her gayness. But I don't feel like all of a sudden there was a part of me that had been, you know, denied or living in the shadows that finally could come out. Gay people are fighting really, really hard for our civil rights. What's important is the world looks at all of us and sees us as gay, and so we need to be cohesive and we need to fight as one community. Marriage equality is so much the right issue for me to kind of pin my hat on, because after years of being in love with a man and everybody badgering us to get married, all of a sudden I was in love with a woman that I actually wanted to marry and I wasn't allowed to. In a society where there are two different sets of rules for different kinds of people, you're immediately sending a message that those people that don't have those rights, they're somehow lesser and they're not really full citizens and they're not maybe even really human. You're sending a message to the worst elements in society. If you want to, you know, find someone to pick on, this is a good group because the government's not going to protect them. Being out, how will that affect you being cast in things? It's very difficult to gauge. You don't really know about the parts you didn't get cast in. I was offered 3 roles in a row just now that were all lesbian roles. My daughter, who's 16, was saying to me, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like all of a sudden you're now being typecast? My daughter is Jewish and she's being raised Jewish. And I was like, you know, it's very similar. It's like, as a Jewish performer, you can complain, why do I always get the Jewish roles? We got to embrace those roles and we got to play those roles. Now that we're married, there is a way that people see us and treat us that is different. Somehow, once we were married, they understood us as a family in a way that they hadn't before. I am not a particularly religious person, but I am somewhat religious. The left in general have made a terrible mistake, ceding religiosity to the right. Bishop Gene Robinson, who performed Christine in my wedding ceremony, said when America was founded, and we said we had a very particular bunch of people we were talking about, white, male, property holders. And gradually, the we became larger and larger. So then it was white men and black men who had been freed by that point. And then gradually it was opened up to include women. Gay people are kind of almost the final frontier. This is what the gay rights movement is about, saying that I as a gay person am part of we. It can't be us and them anymore. We have to understand we're all us.